I've spent about $60,000 on coaching on myself to make me a better business owner. And in this video, I'm gonna just tell you pretty much all the lessons that I learned so that you don't have to spend a dime if you don't want to. But the reason I'm making this video is actually for my previous self, for you, young Camilo, who thought that he was not good enough, who thought that he needed to pay somebody to help him push things through because he heard some guru tell him that you need to pay for information so that you can get ahead. And actually, it's true. You do have to do that. But on the other side of it, it's not the actual things that I learned that made me a better entrepreneur. It was actually something completely different, which I'm gonna explain in this video. Now, for context, I had a mindset coach, I had a business coach, I joined a paid community of different coaches that were in sales, marketing, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn growth, cold email. I also had a dedicated new sales coach that taught me how to run ads, YouTube coaches, etc. YouTube coaches, and pretty much anything that I wanted to get good at fast, I paid somebody for it. At the expense of me getting a very profitable year or me having all this money so I can buy cool shit, I decided to invest in myself. Now, at my young age of 28, 27 at the time, just to get ahead as quickly as possible. And so I've actually written down here on a piece of paper, I don't even know if people still use these things, the 5 lessons that I learned from these. And the first one is probably the most important one, which is why I put it first, which is that there is no secret method. There's no new businesses, really. There's no new marketing methods. Like anything that somebody ever tells you is new, it's just a repackaged model of something else. Think about clipping in the editing space. Clipping is pretty much just getting people to do some form of marketing for you, and you're only paying them if they get a certain amount of money. It's a mix between affiliate and ads, where you'd have to pay the platforms, you pay literally somebody to just generate views for you. It's glorified freelancing with a performance bonus. If you think of AI automation, it's just basically an operational thing that somebody's doing with just using AI. And what people are doing, if you look at Brez's brand scaling, is quite literally just media buying. It's just running ads for businesses. And if you look at growth operating, it was quite literally just you helping somebody with the marketing and creating a program and a community for them to make money. So there's no new businesses, it's just people repackage stuff all the time. And so if you're watching my stuff, you know that I'm a video creator, I run an ads agency. And so for me, I always thought, all my days, like there must be some new way of doing this that other people are making so much money on. The reality is that they're doing the same thing that I'm doing. They're servicing pretty much the same clients, but they're just doing it at a completely different scale to I am. They're doing the basics at scale, which is how they become masters at it. The real secret is that you just don't do enough of what you need to do to really make this work. If you're stuck making less than like $2,000 a month with your business, with your passion, with whatever it is, you're just not doing enough. Not enough people know about your stuff. You are not doing enough work on your product and your service so that it becomes good and people talk about it. So for me, that was a huge lesson, because every program that I joined, it was pretty much the same shit. It was, you need to get more traffic. You need to have a good product. You need to get case studies. You need to keep selling and you will grow. Then you have to leverage with a team. Like, it's all the same thing for business. Whether you're just a freelancer that wants to make a few $1,000 and be happy, or you want to build your own team, maybe you want to build an agency, maybe you just want to have 2-3 people working with you and you're making, $50K, $100K a month. That is 100% doable. But the reality is that there is no new thing. And the next lesson follows on from this, and that is that there's actually only 3 ways for you to get clients. Everyone's talking about 100 different ways and like complicated systems, lead generation, whatever. There's only 3 ways to get clients. That's ads, content, and outreach. The problem is that at any given time, you are limited in resources. You either don't have any time or you don't have any money. If you don't have any money, you have time. If you don't have any time, you have money. And so you need to understand how these 3 methods of getting clients work. Ads, you have to pay for it. If you don't have money, you shouldn't do it because you have to front the cost of it. Sure, if I put $1 in ads in and I get $2-3 back in the form of clients, it makes sense, but it's going to take you a while for you to see these results if you have never run ads before. So if you can't front load that cash, don't do it. That being said, I took a massive risk this year in March where I was like, you know what? I make ads. Why Why am I not running ads? I should be running my own ads. So I decided to make my own ads, and guess what? I closed 3 10K clients from it. It was probably the most hardest, most stressful few months of my life, because there was always money coming out for the advertising. But when I was getting on these calls and I was closing clients, I felt this pressure to close them, and it completely changed my mind as to how it looked like to actually have a business that's generating leads and generating sales. Because it was quite literally, I was paying for people to get on my calendar so I can speak with, then sell them my service. And ultimately, that's the biggest period of growth that we had this year. Now, if you don't have the money for it, there's 2 other options. You have content and you have outreach. Content is free. You can literally sit, record, write stuff, tweet, images, whatever. It's free if you do it yourself. That being said, the biggest players, they pay teams to make lots of content for them. So it does cost money. It costs money at like a certain point in time. You might have to pay an editor if you know an editor. You might have to pay a graphic designer if you don't know how to do graphics. But the problem with content is that it takes a while to take off. Content is not like ads. Ads, you put $1, you get this much reach, impressions, and so you're gonna get this much back in terms of leads, generation, sales calls. With content, it takes a while for it to compound over itself. It's a non-linear relationship where you make 3 videos today and you might not get anything, but you make 3 videos next week and those might actually compound, and then you get 3 videos again and then those compound on top of the ones that you just compounded. I can show you this in public. I made a new YouTube channel called Ads with Cami, and the goal with it was to get clients and build a personal brand around advertising and not just video editing like I have on my main channel. The first 4 months of that channel, I was posting pretty much every single week. Nothing really happened. I got a few sales of some digital products and maybe 1 call booked, which is actually pretty cool. Then I stopped. Nothing happened because I got very busy with sales calls. Then I got back to it. Then I stopped again. But since May 2025 until now, which is the end of July 2025, I've been posting 2 times a week. We went from 300 subs to 900 subs. I was booking like 3 calls a week from it. I was taking people to a consulting program, a school community. I now have 11 members there paying us $67 a month. Like, it does take a while, but it can compound on top of each other. But if you don't have time because you need to make money now, the third method is the fastest way for you to get clients, and it's also free, and that is outreach. Now, I'm not talking about mass cold email outreach, because you do have to spend money on that. You have to get the domains, you have to have a good offer for it. There's a lot of things that can go wrong with cold email, and I did cold email. I sent 75,000 cold emails last year from a coaching program that I was in. The problem was that I didn't realize, but after like the 10,000th email, my domains got cooked. People were saying my shit was spam because my offer wasn't good, my line wasn't good, etc. And so the other 60,000 emails were just basically not being seen by anybody. And after all those emails, I think I booked 2 calls. I obviously didn't close them because I was very shit at sales. That being said, there's another method of you doing outreach, which is actually what we teach inside our community, Video Production Plus. But I'll just tell you what it is. It's called value first outreach. It's you giving somebody something in the form of what you sell, with the expectation, already no expectation, that you're gonna start a conversation. So for our video editors, we teach them, hey, edit a video, just a 10-second clip for somebody, send it to them and say, hey, look, I re-edited your video to make it better. What do you think? That is gonna start a conversation on a good foot, as opposed to just sending them an email saying, hey, do you need a video editor? Hey, I saw your videos, I can help you with editing. Nobody's gonna respond to that in this day and age, where the economy is difficult, where people are skeptical, where demand is higher for quality, but the supply of quality is low. That's just not gonna cut it. And so the reason value first outreach works so much is because you're actually giving something up front. But if you don't do a good job of the first thing that you're giving them up front, that first impression is going to get tanked super easily. So if I was starting from zero, I would focus so much more on value first outreach than content, but I'll still have content on the side because it's going to take its time to grow. There's only those 3 ways to get clients. Sure, there's referrals, sure, there's affiliates, sure, there is partnerships and whatnot, but these are the core 3 for you to get at least to the number of income that you are dreaming of right now when you think of, oh, I want to grow a business. Now, the third lesson was one that actually really hurt to learn, where I was joining these programs, then somebody else would join, then other people would join, and I saw other people join and they were getting so far ahead so quickly in comparison to me. I joined at maybe 20K a month. They joined at 15K a month. 4 months later, they're at 50K. 4 months more later, they're at 100K a month. I was like, what? And me personally, my personality is, I just compare myself too much to people. And so that was a huge detriment to me. It really upset me. It really made me feel like a loser. And comparison is the thief of joy, which is true. And before I learned the lesson that I'm going to tell you, I started to kind of take my ego out of it for a second and think, okay, what are these guys doing differently? What do these guys have that I don't have? And then when I'm looking at it, everybody has completely different skill sets, completely different experiences. I come from a poor background. I don't have a lot of connections around me. I didn't come from a lot of money to be able to use as capital. Other people might have. Other people might have better charisma, better chops, more time, more freedom, or just more energy for the day than me. I have a fiance, I have a family that I want to take care of and see all the time. Some people are just by themselves in a 1-bedroom apartment and they can just lock in for a long time. And so the lesson for me was other people get ahead because of their own different circumstances. And I shouldn't really focus on that. What I can do is learn from them as to what did they do to get ahead. And the reality is that a lot of them just do a significant amount more than you do. I have met people who are posting 5 times a day on different platforms. And me here posting twice a week on YouTube thinking that I'm hustling. I know people that are doing outreach and ads and content religiously every single week and have been doing it for the last year. And I'm only kind of jumping back and forth from it. And so the reality is that any person who's doing ahead of you is not doing 2x the work, 3x the work. They're doing 10 to 20 to 50 times the amount of work and been doing it for a longer period of time. And sure, they might have got lucky with something where somebody gave them a shout out, or they got a client that was a very, expensive client that paid a big retainer, but they only got that because they exposed themselves to these opportunities. And so that was a huge lesson for me because it kind of took away the pressure of me going like, oh, I need to keep up with these guys to, everyone is different. I have my own path that I'm following. Other people have their own path that they're following. Speaking of following, the 4th lesson was one that I always thought was annoying, but I was pretty much brainwashed from every single program that I joined that this is the secret to getting rich. And that is following up. Most people will send one email and then no response for a week. Then they'll send another email, no response. And they'll be like, shit, that's it. I'm not going to get the client. They don't care. I'm not going to go be annoying. Forget it. That's it. I lost the deal. Until I met other people who had been following up with clients for months, 20, 30 follow-up emails within days, weeks of each other. And on the 15th, 20th, 40th follow-up, they landed the client. That blew my mind. I was like, what on earth? How can this be true? Wouldn't they get annoyed? Turns out clients don't get annoyed about that. Turns out I don't get annoyed when somebody follows up on my emails. Because if I really didn't care about them and I really didn't want to work with them, I just tell them no. But the fact that I haven't said no means that I'm either interested in it, but it's not the right time, or I'm just unsure about them and I'll see how I feel later. And so you gotta have this perspective that other clients are also experiencing the same thing, and other clients are fucking busy. They have shit going on. They have calls. They might see your email, free edit. They might look at it and they might be like, oh, this is sick. And then boom, they got a call from somebody. Oh, they gotta go, and then that's it. Or they saw the email and then they need to go to the toilet and they forgot about your stuff because they had something else. Or they saw your email, free edit. The next email is you need to pay your credit card, and so something else happened. There are infinite realities like this for your clients, for your prospects. And so you just got to live in a world where you understand that following up continuously shows you that you are somebody that will show up continuously. And so a client, when they think of, oh, you know what, I need content. Hey, that editor who kept following up with me, I'm going to go to them. Rather than going to somebody new who has been following up, or somebody new they find because you were too shy and afraid of following up because you felt scared and you felt like you're going to annoy them. Since that day, all I do, I get up every single day, 30 minutes, I open up my CRM, I find the recent prospects that haven't contacted me back, and I just send a message, hey, what's up? Like, hey, reigniting the conversation. And since then, I have found that my sales pipeline has been getting fuller and fuller and fuller compared to before, where I would get no clients. And I just sit there waiting for one person to call me. You really think that's how people run businesses? No. The last one is a bit of a hard one because for the longest time running my own agency, when I quit my full-time job as an engineer and my full-time job as an editor, I felt so lonely. This is probably the loneliest I've ever felt, ever. Running your own business, just you, your laptop, sure you have team members on Slack, but they're all millions of miles away. I felt so lonely for the longest time. I feel like I had to be the one to back myself up. I had to be the one to really motivate myself to keep going and be like, hey, Camilo, you can do this. And you just run out of that energy for a long time. And so one of the reasons that I maybe stayed in these communities paying a couple grand a month, every single month, longer than I should have, was actually because of the community, of the people that I was being surrounded by. Not just from the people that I was seeing that were crushing it and being like, yo, I just closed this client, and me thinking, shit, I could do this too, from the wins. But also the people that were like, you know what, I'm struggling with this, I'm struggling with this, I'm struggling with that. And just being able to have those conversations with these other strangers online who, when you meet them, you realize you're all cut from the same cloth. You all have the similar backgrounds, you all care about the same things, you can joke about the same things. It's like having co-workers online, all with the mission to build your own skyscraper, your own building, your own thing. And so for me, community has been the biggest thing. I'm in so many communities. I've created my own communities. I have the community Video Production Plus that has editors who are trying to get clients. And we built that because we want to have a hub for people to be able to speak to other people and learn from other people. Because without that, it just becomes this lonely battle. And there were days where I would start my day kind of demotivated, but then I'll log on to this community about this thing, and I'll see the conversations going on, and I'll be hyped. I was like, yeah, let's do it. Let's get started on this, or let's get into it. And there's just something about the human connection that you just can't live without it. And so for me, having a community and being part of one has been the most important thing. And I encourage you, if you take anything from today, it's that finding your own tribe, your own community of people, whether it's video editors, whether it's business people, whether it's like motion graphic designers, whatever it is, it's just so important. Especially if you're somebody who, like me, likes to work really hard, but also has some mindset issues and also gets lonely sometimes. It can really change the game. And making those friends and making effort to do calls with them and hanging out, catching up. Hey, what are you doing here? Oh, I see you're doing this type of content. That's cool. How's that working for you? Oh, I see you've been changing your website out. How's that working for you? And you kind of take these lessons that it would otherwise take you even longer to learn by yourself or just watching YouTube videos. Because when you watch YouTube videos and this kind of content, it's a very one-sided thing. Like, you can't ask me questions here, but you can ask me these questions if you join my community. Or you can ask somebody else these questions if you join their community. So that has been the most powerful thing that I had learned. But hopefully in this video, you have learned the things that took me $60,000 of spend to actually learn. You can learn about push-ups and watch as many videos about push-ups, but actually doing the push-ups till failure and learning and progressing is how you get good at push-ups and how you get a big chest. But yeah, if you want to know my full story, you can check out this video right here. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.